Welcome to the City of St. Albans official podcast from the desk of Mayor James, a podcast dedicated to adding context and commentary to the important issues here in St. Albans, West Virginia. In each episode, we'll sit down with St. Albans Mayor Scott James and discuss relevant and important topics related to the city, as well as highlight upcoming events in town. I'm your co-host, Anthony Romeo, and we do hope this inside look at our city government helps you feel more engaged with your community. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on Spotify, Apple, and on Google. And, of course, this podcast will also be listed on our website at stalbanswv.com/podcast. With that said, let's bring on our host, the Honorable Mayor Scott James. How are you?
I'm good, Tony. Thank you very much. It's been a busy day. I just got back in town from being up at J.B. McCuskey, our state auditor's formal announcement as running for governor.
Oh, he is?
Yes. And so it was packed, and J.B. and I have developed a good little relationship over the years. And
perfect.
He's a sharp guy, man.
He is. He's a class act. I've met him a couple times, and he's a super guy. Speaking of super guys, we've got a guest in our studio this month. St. Albans Building and Zoning Official Marshall Chaney. How are you, my friend?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on to the show. And the mayor spoke of a busy day, and it actually goes back through probably several weeks of busy. I mean, we're making some serious progress in this dilapidated structure initiatives, aren't we?
Yeah, it's really moving along. Couldn't be more proud of, Rodney Loftus and his crew and, the support of everybody
Absolutely.
In the city.
Yeah, I mean it's really making a difference, and you're creating a positive buzz in town with, attacking all the the blight and everything else, and both you and the mayor are doing a stand-up job and a really good job. Plus the help with other officials, local officials, state officials. So I mean, some great momentum going on in town with it all. So one thing I kind of like to kind of lay out is if you could walk us through that process of, let's just say I have a property that I want to tear down, but I'm not really pocket heavy of money, obviously.
Yeah.
But you want to kind of work with the city to make it happen. Walk me through that steps and how that, how the city can kind of help a homeowner or a property owner get that thing down.
Well, that was really the goal when we came up with this demolition agreement, was to help people who don't have $19,000, $20,000 in their bank to get rid of a dilapidated structure.
Mm-hmm.
So with this demolition agreement being designed to help somebody that doesn't have that much money, it takes a huge financial burden off of them.
Yeah.
Where we pay for the demolition and abatement, and they're only responsible for the dump fees, which are minimal, usually around $2,500 to $3,000.
That's not bad. I mean, considering how much of a quick improvement that can make.
Yeah, for sure.
If that financial burden is just kind of lifted and make it easier at that point, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it really is, and that's and then we take that money, put it back into the demo account, and allows us to demolish more dilapidated structures. And one thing I want to mention, and Marshall, he's kind of humble on this. He came up with this agreement, and the reason that we got $540,000 through the DEP grant, which actually originated in the legislature from J.B. McCuskey.
Absolutely.
Is because of that agreement. They were very impressed with what we were doing, and that's why we got $540,000 from the DEP to tear down dilapidated structures.
And that's, from what I understand, that's sort of like a two-part grant. It's like an award or whatever, an allotment, and then it goes to a part B or a second allotment. Can you kind of help us to understand more of that? Or?
Well, this is the first round of the grant. So
Okay.
What we received, the $540,000, this, I've already applied for the second round.
Great.
Which is way more. We're going to have to way more money.
They're putting more money in it
Yeah.
to the legislature.
Yeah, the legislature is. And that's, again, McCuskey was a big, help with that.
And we'd probably be, remiss if we didn't, kind of give a shout out to some of our local assistance with that, of our local, legislators and state officials here in town, like Walter Hall was probably a huge proponent of that. You had a few other folks that, that
Andy
really,
Shamblin over across the river at Nitro. Walter and them, they've done a great job. We battle bills every year. they keep trying to take revenue from us.
Right.
Just like they did last year with the new car sales B&O tax. All right, starting in July 1st, we're going to lose $200,000 to $300,000 this year. All right, and so we need voices of reason, like Walter and Andy and several others on the House side, but also the Senate side. You can always count on Eric Nelson and Tom Takubo, who's our senators, to battle for us. Also, I want to mention Kayla Young. She does a great job of standing up for St. Albans and municipalities.
Yes, she does.
She does. So
Absolutely. So you mentioned a busy day today. I mean, I ventured out and caught some of that tire removal at the junior high, and it was quite impressive from what I understand. So let's walk through some of the key points to make sure that everybody is clear on sort of what has happened so far, but also, the steps involved that need to be taken care of in order to get that, demolition scheduled.
Yeah, well, REAP done a great job today with the first of a couple loads out. They said they're coming back Thursday to do another load of tires out of the junior high, and it should be completed. So once it's completed, then we get with the Thrasher group through the EPA Brownsfield Region 3 grant, and they'll come in and do all the testing and for asbestos. And then once we get the results, we can get a bid out to abatement companies to start abatement. And then once we do that, we have the building abated. Then we proceed with the demolition.
Oh, great. So another key probably thing that we do need to mention, too, is this Brownsville grant actually lifts quite a bit of the financial burden.
Yeah, just for
a lot of people.
Yeah, the testing and everything, yes.
Yeah.
it really does. They'll come in. It's through Kanawha County. We're working with Kanawha County on this. And the grant will pay for Thrasher going in and assessing the property. Then they come up with a plan of abatement and give you some suggestions on what to do with the property.
Oh, great.
And that's all paid for through this grant. Now, the actual abatement and demolishing, we have to pay for it. I want to thank Kanawha County for including us in this, but also want to thank REAP of the DEP for doing what they're doing and helping us remove these tires out of the junior high.
Yeah, from what from speaking with, I forget the guy's name, but he was a super nice guy with REAP today, and he was just thrilled to be able to help and do everything, possible to get
he's
that.
a local guy. He's born from St. Albans.
Yeah.
Both those guys lived in St. Albans.
Yeah, he was a super great guy to talk to, and he was kind of explaining a little bit of the process too of to make sure everything is safe. Number one, public safety, but also the continuing processes are done properly and safely too.
Yeah.
But after that, raising of the building, this grant actually helps to design, kind of like suggest, uses further on, right? After it's been, raised and demolished and kind of cleaned up at that point. Has there been any, I hate to put anybody on the spot, any good kind of ideas kicked around yet? Or is that too much to ask?
No, that's not too much to ask. I personally, all right, and it's going to end up being on city council.
Sure.
I personally would like to subdivide it, sell the lots, bring a little bit money back into the city, and require single dwelling homes, no rental property.
Okay.
All right, and start bringing property values up in that area.
Sure.
All right. There's also people that want to has thrown out maybe putting a park there or something like that. But the difference is with what I want to do brings money to the city. All right. And if we put a park there, it's going to cost us. So
makes sense.
But that's down the road, and
Yeah.
we'll figure out what we're going to do with
And
it.
I didn't want to put anybody on this spot, but I just, I just kind of get some ideas going out there. And obviously, if somebody had, wanted to get in touch with you to kind of share their visions too, I mean, obviously your door's always open too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So, but from what I understand, all this dilapidated structure work puts us, kind of in the spotlight also statewide with some other municipalities. I mean, we're kind of right there at the top of the heap of the activity that's going on in town with this initiative, right?
Yeah, Nitro's been a big help. Kim Reed over there, me and her have worked together since this started. And it's good to have two cities working together.
Absolutely.
You can only flourish when you work together.
Absolutely. So. And, looking across the river, you can kind of see the progress, too, happening, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Wasn't Princeton on that list, from what I understand?
The three top cities, not necessarily in this order. I'm not sure of the order, but St. Albans, Nitro, and Princeton are the three top municipalities are getting these dilapidated structures torn down.
That's great. So, if you want to learn more about, the initiative, the ongoing success, and the progress being made, you can definitely check out the website at, the St. Albans City website at stalbanswv.com. There's a news section, and there's also, a dedicated story to the junior high that we've been continually updating. So that's a great source of, factual information that you can, glean and reference anytime. One thing to also mention, the building department has a website, too, that's always updated with, continuous information. That is building.stalbanswv.com.
And also on the Facebook page,
yeah,
St. Albans Building Department.
And one thing that, kind of seeing it, too, is there's a lot of, Facebook Lives that are actually shot and placed out there in the wild as these demos are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's always good to see that, yes, there's progress being made.
Yeah, that's what I like to do, just show, hey, we are doing this.
Yeah.
You may not live on this side of town, not see it, but it's being done.
But we'll get to it.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Absolutely.
We're getting there.
Well, Marshall, man, I appreciate you, stepping in and sitting with us to kind of walk us through the entire process, and congratulations to both you and the mayor on all the progress being made in this. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Mayor Scott James here, inviting everyone to come visit St. Albans, West Virginia's best kept secret, but the secret's getting out.
St. Albans parks offer a wide range of activities, including miles of hiking and biking trails, playgrounds, sports fields, and a swimming pool. Plus, St. Albans is known for its water activities, whether it's kayaking the Coal River or boating on the Kanawha. Visit St. Albans, West Virginia's best kept secret.
Welcome back to the St. Albans City Podcast with the Mayor Scott James. I'm your host, Anthony Romeo, and one thing that we wanted to say and give a shout-out to, especially with all this dilapidated structure work in town, is, the Fire Marshal and Fire Chief, Fire Marshal Chris Collins and Fire Chief Lance Carney, as well as the St. Albans City Police Department, Chief Gilbert. From what I hear, they've been very instrumental in this and helping to, further things along, right?
Yeah, they do. Matter of fact, I had a meeting at 9 this morning, and Fire Chief Lance Carney met the news up there and let them in, get a few shots this morning and everything else till I got there. And so all of them, all three of them, I mean, the fire chief, the fire marshal, and the police chief and his crew, they're all doing a great job, and everybody's working together, and that's what it takes.
Absolutely.
For us to succeed.
Absolutely. And, in a lot of that community support and togetherness and, working for that common good, it's getting out. People are noticing St. Albans, especially with this newly designated accolade that we've been bestowed on us by the mighty Forbes advisor list.
I'll be honest with you.
Blows your mind, doesn't it?
Tony, I was sitting at home on a Saturday watching a game, and Willie Burdett, who grew up in St. Albans, he's high up in administration at Marshall now, sent me a text. And it was a link to WBOY out of Clarksburg. They're the first ones that did a spot on it. And so I thought, well, let me delve into this and make sure that everything's on the up and up.
Right.
All right. And I found the Forbes Advisor list, and we are one of the top 50 destinations to visit worldwide in 2023.
Keyword, worldwide.
Yes, and it's going to bring people to St. Albans. And you know as well as I do that once people come to St. Albans, they keep coming back.
Very true.
But this is not only good for St. Albans. This is going to be good for neighboring communities and the rest of the state of West Virginia, because people aren't going to come here and just stay in St. Albans. They're going to visit other places.
Absolutely.
So a rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah, it
I'm a
does.
firm believer in that. And any success that other communities have that filter over to us, we appreciate that. And any successes that we have that filter over to other communities, we're excited to be part of that.
Absolutely, and you nailed a key word here, partnership, and it goes beyond city residents working together as a partnership to boost community pride and everything else, but it also, like you said, those neighboring communities that we're partnering with to boost each other and work together to really showcase this area, the Kanawha Valley, on a worldwide stage now.
Exactly. We've got a great working relationship with Mayor Casebolt and the city of Nitro. They've got some sharp folks over there as well as we have, but I'm in contact with a lot of mayors throughout the valley as well as around the state. So we're just excited about the direction we're going in, and I'm a firm believer that the best is yet to come.
I'm right there with you, my friend. You've done a phenomenal job in your administration, especially hitting your key metrics as far as, improving the community, making sure, we're all working together, as one to further that mission. And it's a pretty amazing time for our small town here in St. Albans. So,
It is.
And one of those, amazing moments, think about the stuff that has gone on in the last month. You had the police headquarters, the ribbon cutting there, which was, it's a super duper nice facility. It's amazing.
State of the art, man.
Oh my gosh.
We went from 1,000 square foot in the old police station to 16,500 square foot.
Absolutely.
And built to our specs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for $1.91 million. If you built that building from the ground up, it would be a $7 to $8 million structure.
Yeah.
All the furniture, computers, anything that we bought to bring in there was either paid for by donations or through drug seizure money. So this doesn't come out of the taxpayers' pockets.
No.
And Mark Gilbert did a tremendous job on handling that aspect of things. So we've got a state-of-the-art police station that we have trainings that other police departments come in and they're part of that training.
Yeah.
We get 4 to 5 seats in that training for free. The other departments pay after we pay the trainee. So to speak. We've got money left over. We put it back in that training budget.
Yes.
So that allows us to do more.
Yeah, and I was kind of somewhat disclosure. I was meeting with Chief on the training stuff, and it was pretty cool to see the types of trainings that we're going to be hosting.
Oh yes.
And again, that's a draw to our town.
Sure it is.
It's a different type of draw, but it is still a draw, and it's really positive because it really showcases St. Albans from a law enforcement standpoint. So, and it helps to spread that training, out into other communities that, hey, it's a state-of-the-art facility with state-of-the-art training.
Yeah.
Which is really important.
It is. A couple of weeks ago, we had the West Virginia Municipal League Winter Conference. That's always in Charleston, and we utilize that to work with the legislature on some bills that we agree with, disagree with, and of course, we're feeding off each other and ideas and what's being successful in other communities. But Jerry from the mayor of Elkins set up an appointment with our police chief and came down and checked out our new police station, but our camera system specifically.
Oh, cool.
And he was extremely, extremely impressed.
Awesome.
With the facility that we have.
But it just speaks of the investment of time and money and resources into policing into St. Albans to attract more and more people in.
Sure, and people, there's a few naysayers out there. I call them keyboard warriors. They want to get on there and they want to trash this and talk about crime, this and that. I think I might have mentioned this last time. In 2019, we were listed as the safest city to live in of the top 13 largest cities in West Virginia. I recently came across the list recently. We're still in the top 10.
Great.
And so it's exciting. Our police department does a great job. And what people don't always understand, our night shift, we've got 4 officers. They can't be everywhere all the time, but they do a tremendous job, and I would not trade our police department for any other police department in the state of West Virginia.
I'm right there with you. And seeing some of your social media posts in the city and the police department's posts about an upcoming or a past event that happened at a city council meeting, seeing our new K9 unit.
Oh, Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Yeah.
What an amazing animal.
Yep. She's
beautiful dog.
Beautiful dog. And I'm telling you, we had Arco.
Yeah.
And his handler, Cooper, went up to MDent or DEA. He's working with them. So Arco went with him on that one. But we picked up Bonnie, and I want to thank the Fall Y'all Festival because they do the majority of the funding on all this.
They do.
And so Bonnie is a tremendous asset to the police department, and you talk to any other police department that deals with canines, and Bonnie is one of the most highly thought of canines in the area.
She's got a reputation started.
She does.
Yeah, she's got a good buzz. Maybe she can have her own TikTok channel.
Yeah, well, you never know. And her handler's Cody Beckner.
Yeah.
And he does a great job with her, and she loves him, and he loves her, and if they have to, Bonnie will take a bite out of crime.
I bet.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the Fall Y'all, a committee, an organization. They've got what's called a dog bowl, and that's
coming up.
That's coming up in April.
Yes.
And what that is basically a fundraiser and a bowling tournament all in one. And we would be remiss not to mention that. And from what I understand, there's forthcoming information about that bowling tournament and benefit for our canine unit.
Yeah, we'll have it on the website. We'll have it on our social media pages. But you can also get in contact with the Fall Y'all Festival. Guys, it's a blast. You get a team in it, and all the proceeds go to the K9 unit for St. Albans.
And from what I understand, there are some really nice prizes going to happen in that raffle, too, from what I understand. So yeah, check it out, Fall Y'all Festival, the bowling tournament coming up. But speaking of a vacancy that we had recently in City Council, that's been recently filled by, you might know him, but most people may not. But Brian Herndon, he's a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's a stand-up guy, too.
He's a community guy.
Yeah.
Before he became a council person, he was on the Parks Board.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, based on the way the ordinance reads, he had to get off the Parks Board because we can only have 2 representatives from council on the Parks Board, and we already have 2. So, but Brian's going to be a big asset to the city of St. Albans, and I look forward to working with him.
Totally agree. I've seen a lot of his work on the Parks Board, and he's one of those guys that always comes with fresh ideas and really cares about his community. But so I echo that sentiment. He's going to be a great asset to the city, especially City Council. So that's really good news. But some other things that have been going on in council, which speaks all the way back to improving the community and putting a spotlight on our town. If you drive around town, you might see a lot of orange and red and flashing lights, sidewalk construction. At the end of the game, in the end of the day, you're going to have some really nice sidewalks in town to really enjoy and take care of, take advantage of.
Yep, they really are. They started this week. They've got mobile lights up, traffic lights, and it's starting right at South Washington and going east. I don't know exactly how much we're going to get done, but we should get 4 to 5 blocks, I think, at least out of this. And that's going to improve the walking conditions for those that like to walk or jog. And so it makes a safer community.
It does, especially with the warmer weather starting. That should encourage people to get out and walk about.
Yes.
Have a St. Albans walkabout.
Yeah, St. Albans walkabout. And this is a Streetscape grant.
Yeah.
And so we're excited about it. Our guys are busy elsewhere. They have bid this out, and we're excited about the product that's going to be developed by putting in these new sidewalks.
Absolutely, and it really is starting to make a really big difference, especially in the Main Street district. You know, if you look around some of the mercantile shops or the shops down there, especially in that corner, you can see a lot of the progress on Pennsylvania and then Canal Terrace, kind of wrapped up on Canal Terrace. It's a beautiful thing to see that fresh concrete.
It is, and you know, our guys are finishing that project up, and they do a tremendous job. The Public Works, those guys, I'm telling you, man. If I ever get a sidewalk replaced at the house, I'm probably going to hire them to do it on weekends.
Yeah.
You know, they do a great job.
They're a hard-working crew. So
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in council, and you know, the city residents, you guys are welcome to attend city council. There's actually a moment in time in that council meeting where you have your opportunity to bring fresh ideas, to talk about things, and to raise awareness and issues of things that you want to deal with. And a reminder, that's the first and third Mondays of the month at 6:30 down in council chambers, which is down now in the fire department.
Yeah, above the fire department.
So those minutes and agendas, you can find those also on our website at stalbanswv.com. So one of our favorite topics, upcoming events. We've got a ton of things happening this spring leading into summer with a lot of favorite videos, events going on. And a couple of things that we got to kind of touch on early before we get, you know, to some of the larger ones. But the Parks has a St. Albans Has Talent show starting, I think, on the 11th.
March 11th.
March 11th.
It's live auditions at SAHS. Open to all amateurs 12 years of age and above. First 75 registrations are guaranteed a slot. And, you know, when I was growing up, Tony, the high school and even St. Albans Junior High used to have talent shows all the time, and that place was packed.
Yeah.
You know, come out and enjoy this. This is an opportunity for the people of St. Albans and really other communities to come in and check out some of the talent that we do have that's not known in St. Albans. And so it's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. And, you know, you can always register online at saparkswv.com/talent. And who knows, you may be like, what was her name? I can't forget her name, but she kind of started in the Auburn and she went on to Broadway.
That is...
I forget her name and I feel bad about it.
Oh, her last name's Peterson. What was her name? She actually did a one-man show down there shortly after I came into office. I have her picture, her autograph in my office. Hannah?
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think
Hannah Peterson, I believe. She actually got her start at the Albans.
Yeah.
And she was in the, was it Wizard of Oz? I can't remember the play that she did.
I can't remember
But it's a popular play, so.
But that's just proof that St. Albans does have talent.
No,
so
there's no doubt about it.
So get an act together and be sure to audition. Again, you can register at saparkswv.com/talent. And who knows, you may walk away with, what am I here, some gift cards to spend anywhere in town.
Yes.
So it's a good event. But one that's kind of being a big buzz around town, it was a huge success this past fall at Halloween. So this time around, it's the theme of St. Patrick's Day, the Crawl O' Green Pub Crawl, coming up on March 11th at Old Main.
Yeah, it starts at 6, runs to 11. And what we do is we close down Main Street from 3rd Street to 2nd Street. We close down Old Main. We actually close down 2nd Street between Canal Terrace and 6th Avenue so people can walk from pub to pub. And enjoy the evening. And I want to let you know that not only does this bring people St. Albans out, but this brings people from all other communities and even distant counties.
Yes.
To enjoy the time in St. Albans. And it goes right back to what I said before, and I'll say it again. Once we get them here, they keep coming back.
Absolutely.
During the Crawloween last fall, 3 or 4 of the pubs had record sales that evening.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So you know, not only does it help our businesses, but it also helps the city of St. Albans.
It absolutely does. And I'm going to probably walk a very narrow guardrail when I say this. And there had been a little bit of pushback of why this happened, but you hit the nail on the head. It's a positive economic impact on the town, number one. Two, it brings people in to have a, no pun intended, taste of St. Albans, to experience St. Albans. So, I mean, I'm always seeing positive things that come out of this.
It really does. There was no issues last time. We have the police walking Old Main and Main Street, and they're interacting safe with the individuals that come to enjoy the pub crawl. Mm-hmm. Nobody's gotten out of hand. There was no issues. Yeah. And, we stress, if you're going to be there, make sure you got a DD, all right? Designated driver.
Absolutely.
And be safe. That's the big thing. And, I want to knock on wood, but all the Yak Fest that we've had, the chili festivals, the Crawloween, and now this one coming up, and the music we have playing on Old Main 2, 3, 4 nights a week, mm-hmm. We've had no issues.
That's great. And it could be a whole lot different, because I'm sure there's other communities that aren't so fortunate. But like you said, we have our stuff together, and we make sure everybody's, number one, safe, and number two, has fun.
Yes, and it's kind of funny. I was, I think it was the Chili Festival, and there was a couple from a neighboring community just east of us. I'm not going to mention any names. And they just went on and on and on about the events that go on in St. Albans.
That's good. And I've seen other municipalities kind of echo some of our social media posts.
Yes.
Which is, I like it. It's cool.
Oh, amen.
Because they're watching, they're listening.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's always good. But you can check out, I think they're on Eventbrite, right? That Crawler Green event information. You can find it on Eventbrite and also on Facebook if you kind of search for Crawl O Green pub crawl here in town coming up on March 11th. Also, the parks, they're starting to spin up a lot of activity in their events coming up this spring. They've got a ton of stuff happening. One that stands out to a lot of us, especially that we remember such a positive force in our community, the Kenny Sutton Landing Launch Party. And that's in honor of a very, and this is probably just lightly describing, a generous community member that we lost, Kenny Sutton.
Yeah, generous and dedicated to the city of St. Albans.
Absolutely.
He was on the Parks Board, and Kenny fought a long, strong battle against cancer, and he's up there walking the streets of gold right now. And we're going to have a landing launch party on April 29th over at Roadside Park, and there's going to be live music, kids' activities, food vendors, and we will unveil a sign and dedication to Kenny Sutton.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't been down to Roadside Park to check out the new ramp area, the new parking lot, and all the new facilities, this is your chance to do it. Because not only will you see live music, kids' activities, and vendors, but you'll get to experience a new chapter in Roadside of enjoyment and access and safety and security, all kinds of things. So
everybody I talk to goes down and looks at the dock, loves it. It is very nice. And of course, the ramp, one of the complaints we used to get was it was very steep and then it dropped off. Well, they extended it out with riprap,
right?
So it's going to be easier to get your boats in and out of the water there at the boat landing. So they've increased the parking area, and I could go on and on, and just more of St. Albans moving forward.
Absolutely. So always good news. Again, that's April 29th down there at Roadside Park. Let's shift our gears to St. Albans City Park. It got rained out last October. There was a lot of upset, they were sad to see it rained out, but it was probably for the best. But Dragon Palooza.
Yes.
The big, festival up there, the craft, not the craft beer, but the beer music festival up there at St. Albans City Park. That thing is scheduled May 20th up there. Pretty much they just picked up the whole event and rescheduled it for the 20th. Everything's coming back.
Yeah, Battle of the Bands.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff happening up there. Live music, food and beverage vendors, kids zone. There's going to be something up there for the kids, which is awesome.
For everybody.
Yeah. So bring the kids, bring your family, enjoy some great live music, good food, beverage, everything else, and just have a good, safe time up there at City Park. Something that you and I have been kicking around is happening June 16th and the 17th, our infamous Yak Fest.
Yeah, it just.
Oh boy!
I'm gonna tell you what, it continues to grow. It's so exciting. It brings people from not only West Virginia, all over West Virginia, but other states that participate in the Tour de Col, which is the morning of the 17th. And, on Friday the 16th, we'll start playing music at 4 o'clock and goes till 11. And on Saturday, we will start playing music at 2 o'clock and it goes till 11. Saturday night's main event is the ever so popular and one of my favorites, the Davison Brothers.
All right. You heard it here first.
Yes, and we haven't quite booked a main headliner for Friday night, but we're working on it.
I have a feeling that will come soon.
Yes.
So, big doings in town always for Yak Fest. And as the mayor mentioned, it creates a ripple around our supporting communities around us, and it leaves a positive impact on them as well. So June 16th and 17th here on Main Street, Tour de Col, like you said, you got to Yak Fest. You got to come down for this and enjoy it here in town. Any other events you want to kind of throw out there that you've been working on that we can share? Well,
not that we're really working on. Of course, with the Forbes magazine article, we're really stressing the Airbnbs in St. Albans. And we hope to work with the businesses and stuff as people start coming in to maybe offer specials or something to attract them to their business. And but some other things that go on are golf tournaments out Big Bend.
Yeah.
In April, the baseball team's having a golf tournament to raise funds. I can't remember the exact date. First Saturday in August, the 25177 Foundation, which is run by Walter Hall and Angie. That goes on, and that's a big fundraiser for the 25177 Foundation, who actually pays and gives money to organizations. The Red and Black Club is going to have, they got rained out last year, a golf tournament, but they're going to have a golf tournament. I think it's in April or May. So these are all events that benefit the city of St. Albans.
Absolutely. So, and I can almost hear it in my head when you say it. St. Albans is West Virginia's best kept secret, but
the secret's getting out.
Absolutely. And we'll update all these city events on the calendar here. And you can always kind of reference that calendar on our city's website at stalbanswv.com/event. Mr. Mayor, it's been a great episode. I tell you what, is there any other closing remarks? We had a great guest with Marshall Lynn. What a great show.
Yeah, Marshall does a tremendous job. And, I want to give a shout out to Tony and Anthony for putting on this podcast. I'm 63, going to be 64 in May. I'm not a big tech guy. But I know the power of technology and the things also, Tony, that you do as our
marketing
guy is unbelievable. The website, somebody was commenting on it the other day about how nice it was. We're always up to date. And we communicate well, and we just want to keep moving St. Albans forward.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you, Tony, and you, Anthony, for everything you do for our community.
Thank you so much for those accolades, and I hope I can speak for Anthony. He seems that appreciative too. So chime in there, bud. Oh,
we forgot to mention Mountaineer Main Street.
Yeah,
that's coming up in August. I'm not sure the exact date. It's always the Saturday before their first game, and it's going to be bigger and better. We got actually some of the Mountaineer marching bands going to be down, as well as the cheerleaders, the dance team.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and we're thinking about maybe having a parade.
It looks like it's going to be August the 26th, according to the text message I got from Dan Fowler.
Yeah, okay.
So that'll be the week before the West Virginia Penn State game.
Yeah, and they're sponsored by 100.9, the Classics. and we appreciate them and everything they do for our community. And last year was the first time they've had it on Main Street, and it was an unbelievable event.
And mark your calendars again for what date now?
August 26th.
August 26th. So we'll put that on the calendar as the date draws near and get more information out to everybody. Mr. Mayor, Anthony, thank you so much. Appreciate all everybody's doing to, like the mayor said, to further St. Albans forward.
Well, you're more than welcome, and God bless each and every one of you out there, man, and God bless the great city of St. Albans.
Absolutely. And again, we got to thank our producer, Anthony Lewis. Thank you, my friend, my lifelong friend, for keeping everything on the up and up and keeping the buttons going and keeping us on track. So much appreciated, my friend.
Y'all are babies.
I'll quit now.
Like I said, I'm turning 64 in May. How old will you be on your next birthday?
Well, we've got some gray hair going.
Well, you do. Yeah, both of them do.
But anyway, so thank you again for joining us for the City of St. Albans official podcast from the desk of Mayor James. And like we always say, we hope this inside look at our city government and upcoming events helps you feel more engaged with our community. We also appreciate your support of our efforts to make St. Albans a thriving community for all. And be sure to subscribe, like, and share our podcast on your favorite podcast platform and on social media. Our podcast episodes are available on the city's website at stalbanswv.com/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you out and about in St. Albans.
Thank you.